Shalom, call on Yahweh Shalom to the look. In this video, I just want to go on some of the stuff that's been unfolding around the earth in these past days. And yeah, this war, or this battle, I should say, is breaking out between the Armenians, and I want to say the other name is Azeris or something like that. I'm gonna let a little bit of this play, and I'm gonna play another video on some other ones on top of that.
After 15 months, U.S. Attorney John Durham, who was assigned by William Barr to investigate the FBI's probe into Trump's campaign in 2016, has filed the first criminal charge in his investigation. The man that he charged, who has now pled guilty, was the primary FBI lawyer who was assigned to provide legal support to the special counsel led by Bob Mueller. So what was this?
Hey, that's how the book of Malachi said Esau was a board of wickedness. I wasn't even looking for this video to pop up, where it was having to pop up. When they made the judicial system and these laws and stuff, the whole time, they don't even go by this shit.
Crime. He took an email from a CIA liaison and altered it during the application process for a secret spy warrant against the former Trump campaign advisor. Basically, here's what happened. When the special counsel first began, the CIA sent them a memo saying that Carter Page, who was a Trump campaign advisor, used to be an approved operational contact for the CIA, and that he reported back to the CIA about his interactions with Russian intelligence officers. However, when the FBI applied for the FISA spy warrants to surveil Carter Page, they told the judge that Carter Page had contacts with Russian intelligence officers, but they failed to mention that he was actually working with the CIA. And this is where the crime comes in, because the FBI lawyer took an email that was sent to him, which indicated that Carter Page was indeed a CIA contact, and he added the words, "and not a source," thereby misleading the FISA court and ultimately being allowed to continue to surveil Carter Page. And as complex as this sounds, it is only one out of the 17 major errors and omissions that Inspector General Michael Horowitz found in these FISA applications. And so while we're still waiting for more developments in John Durham's investigation, if you want the blueprint for everything that we know thus far, take a look at this. The FISA abuse infographic poster put out by the Epic Times. It is huge. It's 3 feet by 4 feet. It took our investigative journalists several months to put together, and it is a timeline that details, step by step, how in their rush to set up surveillance on Carter Page, the FBI relied on politicized information, consistently ignored exculpatory evidence, and misled the FISA court. This is awesome. We looked under every rock and every available source of information. We did not stretch the truth even a little bit. We just let the facts guide us wherever they may, and this is what we came up with. And now you can get this poster delivered to your home, absolutely free of charge. You don't even need to pay the cost of shipping. Just click on that button below and try the Epic Times newspaper for a full month for just $1, and we'll send you this poster free of charge.
Let me just pause that right there. I wasn't looking for this video to pop up. I'm glad it did. This is in the book of Psalms, chapter 64, and verse 8. It says, "So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." And that's what you see going on. Their own tongues falling upon them. Got Esau making newspapers exposing Esau. You can't do them a laugh at this shit. This shit hilarious, man. You see them put another precept real quick. It's in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 7. Says, "A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to his soul." And Esau's fucking mouth got his ass in trouble. And his actions also, with them lying and then going around the world, creating all these little situations, and then trying to play the superhero and shit. Oh, that's still coming back to haunt him now. Let me see. You know, I want to pull real quick before I get to the actual videos. It's in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 18, verse 16. It says, "They have made the land of desolation, a perpetual object of scorn. Everyone who passes by will be appalled and shake their heads." And that's what's going to happen to Babylon, ultimately. I just want to bring them scriptures out since I see this video pop up. But this right here is just the prequel to Esau's demise.
Live from the world headquarters of RT America in our nation's capital, this is the news with Rick Sanchez.
Hello and welcome to the news with Rick Sanchez. I'm Farron Franzek filling in for Rick. Days after a grand jury issued 0 murder charges against the police officers who shot and killed Breonna Taylor, there's new officer body cam video that's been leaked that could change the case entirely. Now we are going to show you that video, but first some background. This is officer body cam footage obtained by Vice News, warned by Louisville Metro Police on March.
No, wasn't the exact video I was looking for. I want to go into this real quick about this conflict.
The leaders of the two nations also see
Deficiencies cause most health problems, from sexual dysfunction to metabolic disorders, thyroid, brain, and circulation disorders, and even hair loss. So why do doctors and nutritionists discount, or worse, ignore, the importance of vitamins and minerals in our bodies to function properly?
Oh, man, come on. Hey, these different videos is popping up. I ain't looking for them. But they expose Esau more and more. Because these damn devils, they don't care about our immune systems and the way our bodies actually supposed to work. They want to destroy them. That way they stay in business, so to speak, with the pharmaceutical companies. Like with the stores, you have the so-called health stores that they give you like vitamins and different stuff like that. And I know I'm going off on a different topic, but I'm just going to roll in the spirit and pull these precepts too while I speak on this. These different stores that sell these vitamins and stuff, you're actually supposed to get vitamins from when you go out in the sun, which is hard to get sunlight now because they be spraying chemtrails every fucking way, blocking out the sky. Then the water, you're supposed to get certain electrolytes and minerals from drinking water. These devils, they dilute so much stuff. Man, you gotta go to them just to get some of that stuff that they took out. Same thing with the vitamins and amino acids. There's certain veggies and fruits. They're supposed to give you that. But let Esau tell you, oh, you don't necessarily need that, but you can come buy these gummy vitamins or whatever, which got gelatin in it. Let me skip this video.
also seem to be digging in their heels. The Azerbaijani president says that he is confident the region will be brought back under control of his country, while Armenia's prime minister has indicated that he's ready to consider an independent Nagorno-Karabakh. There has been a unanimous call for peace from Russia, France, and the U.S., while Iran, which borders both countries, has offered to broker a peace deal. For RT, I'm Alex Mihailovich.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be no peace deal, like the scriptures say. They should say peace and safety, then sudden destruction should come upon them. I'm gonna read this scripture real quick. It's in the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7. It says, and we should hear wars and rumors of wars. Be ye not troubled for such things as needs be, but the end should not be yet. So even though all these wars and these skirmishes gonna break out, the next major prophecy that's gonna unfold is this RFID chip. That's, if you're being vigilant and diligent, that's what you should be looking for. There's been a lot of movement with the financial system. We're talking about the coins, and they've been trying to set up new ATM machines and different type of scanners so you can swipe your ATM card or whatever. Next thing, though, it's going to be set up to the point of where you go to these grocery stores or wherever, you're going to have that chip just to purchase anything. You're going to have that chip to get paid at your jobs, to make other orders or whatever, if you get stuff online or whatever the scenario may be. And then you're going to see who really riding for your house and your shop when they actually push this RFID chip. Now, we read on some more in the book of Matthew, chapter 13, and this verse 8. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's what you see right here. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom.
A century as Muslims and Christians competed in the region.
You got a lot of promotion on here. I see RT News on stepped up. A little advertisement, because I used to get on here, they ain't have all this shit on it. You just go through the video. And the main names, this is what I want to show right here. Main names you gotta see. Mediate this type of stuff. France and Iran, yeah, they in the midst too, but the main names is Russia and the U.S. A lot of these conflicts gonna break out. And like the scripture says, let me get it real quick. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 20. It says, scroll down to the actual version. It said, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom and his purposes, that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Tema. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And simultaneously while this going on, there's another video I seen. Let me see if I can find it. I think I queued. I ain't queued this one though. I'm gonna have to go back to it. Hold on, give me 1 minute. No, they're way down here. There's a video yet the guy Netanyahu basically going in about how Iran and Hezbollah have some type of missiles and stuff stored in this depot over there in a certain area over there. Basically talking about the Beirut situation and how this, let me see. Okay, here you go right here. I overlooked it. Basically, I'll let it play. I ain't gotta spend all the way. I'll let it play.
I've been on Noom for 4 months. I've lost 27.
We all saw the terrible explosion at Beirut port last month. The explosion happened here. This is the Beirut port. 200 people died, thousands of people were injured, and 250,000 people were made homeless. Now here's where the next explosion could take place, right here. This is the Beirut neighborhood of Janaf. It's right next to the international airport.
So be on the lookout for another psyop. Because you know how these devils play. They'll mention some shit right out in the open. And then act like somebody else did it the whole time. They scheme it up.
And here, Hezbollah is keeping a secret arms depot. This secret arms depot right here is adjacent, a meter away from a gas company. These are gas canisters, right here. It's a few meters away from a gas station. It's 50 meters away from the gas company. Here are more gas trucks. And it's embedded in civilian housing here civilian housing here. The Jannah neighborhood residence, this is the actual coordinates. So I want to show you the entrance to Hezbollah's missile factory, because that's what it is. It's right here. This is the gas company, and this is the missile explosive depot. I say to the people of Jannah, you've got to act now. You've got to protest this. Because if this thing explodes, it's another tragedy. I say to the people of Lebanon, Israel means you no harm, but Iran does. Iran and Hezbollah have deliberately put you and your families in grave danger. And what you should make clear is what they have done is unacceptable. You should tell them, tear these depots down. Just a few days ago, one of these depots exploded at Ain Kana in South Lebanon. And that is why the international community must insist that Hezbollah stop using Lebanon and Lebanese civilians as human shields.
And see, situations like this is just going to escalate. Because best believe the Amalekites got some shit planned up simultaneously as the Iranians got something planned up too. Because they've been saying they're going to retaliate. Right? Let me read this scripture one more time. See, look at Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. And the people that back Iran is Russia. And the people that back them Amalekites over there in our land, Israel, is the U.S. So that's why the scripture right here says this in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh, that he have taken against Edom and his purposes, that he have proposed against the inhabitants of Timor. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely they shall make their habitations desolate with them. So a lot of this stuff is actually positioned just so that land can get wiped out, basically, or blown to smithereens. And they don't even realize that they put this stuff in these places that they put it in, because the Most High put a spirit on them to do that. Now, let me go to another video real quick. I'm going to show a few more clips and just end this. I just want to give a little update on some stuff that's been going on around the world and how the scriptures actually been playing out, man.
Tell me a good story.
There's going to be heavy judgment going on this month too, because, you know, a lot of people getting ready to celebrate Beltane, or this bonfire. Let's go back to where bonfire, this Halloween shit, worshiping Molech. So a lot of people get jacked up, that'll be the reason why.
Quarters of RT America in our nation's capital.
But it's for the kids, though.
This is the news with Rick Sanchez.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez, and I do want to welcome our viewers from all over the world, including those of you who are watching us on your phones using the mobile app Portable TV. In case you have not noticed, and you probably have noticed, quotations here, the war on terror is finally ending. Of course, bureaucrats at the Pentagon, along with defense contractors and weapons manufacturers, would likely prefer that that does not happen. But even they are starting to realize that it's getting harder and harder to convince their partners in the corporate media to do stories on the necessity of a war with Iraq, the necessity of a war with Syria, a war in Afghanistan, a war in Yemen. Yeah, even the CNNs of the world aren't biting these days. So what do they need? What do those institutions need?
They need some type of psyop to go on so they can point the finger at somebody. And then next thing you know, they're deploying troops.
What they need is a new war on terror, a new potential war, a new threat of war, to continue doing what they have been doing during the war on terror, which followed the Cold War, which followed the Vietnam War, which followed the Korean War, which followed World War II. You get the picture. Constant state of war. So what will that replacement be? It's looking more and more like that will come in three parts, really. China, Iran, and Russia.
Let me go to the book of Obadiah real quick after I read this. It says, back in the book of Mark chapter 13, verse 8, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. And simultaneously making these type of videos, this was going to happen too to certain Arkan. Verse 9 it says, but take heed to yourselves, for they should deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues you should be beaten, you should be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. So you Arkan, man, hey, all this little adversity you deal with and go through, get you built up to be able to deal with more stuff to come your way. So it won't even shake you. That's going to test your faith. No, let me see what other scripture I want to go into. It's the judgment on Edom. Which Edom is the forefather of so-called white people. Let me go into this. I'm going to read it from verse 14 on down. I wasn't going to go in the book of Obadiah, but Jeremiah hit it right, hit the nail right on the head, so to speak. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 14. It says, I have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and ambassadors sent out to the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle. Look at this. What are they doing? They gathering together. The top military is gathering together. It says, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among men. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart. And what Trump calling this little gang he got, the Proud Boys, whatever he fucking said, that pride done deceived them, man. And these nations, they've been gearing up just so they can come against this place. Now it says, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holds the height of the hill, though thou shouldst make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord Yahweh. And that's what's going to happen. And I ain't going to play the rest of this video. You are going to want to go check this out. I'll stop it right there. That number right there. Go check it out, man. That's where it's at. I'm going to pull this last precept. I was going to let another video play.
Police Department, over 7,500 officers have been injured in the line of duty this year, and that's an almost 50% increase compared with the same period last year. Now, many of the injuries were sustained during this summer's anti-cop brutality protests, and police unions are pointing the finger at politicians.
The chaos that politicians are encouraging on the streets is putting cops in hospitals. Every New Yorker needs to ask their elected officials how cops can protect them when we can barely protect ourselves.
One of the more bloody incidents, a number of police officers were attacked by protesters on Brooklyn Bridge in July. One required emergency eye surgery after suffering blows to the head. In another case in June, an officer in the Bronx was victim of a hit-and-run attack.
You see, this type of shit go back to slavery, really. Because really what the police was for was to keep the slaves in line. If they run out the plantation or whatever, they'll beat them up and bring them back. Sometimes they hang them and lynch them or whatever. And it just got more modernized over time. But that's really what it was for. So it was really to protect the slave masters. And really to, what's the word I'm looking for? Make servants be obedient, so to speak. That's basically what it really was for. But now all that shit turning on them. And they don't like it. To my son, how can they protect us when they ain't protected? That's a fucking joke. Listen to the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 11. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And that's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening, man. So I just wanted to bring this out, speak on a few things that's been going on around the world. Man, Esau, that's gonna be your look for the future. So, Lord's willing, this is edifying. Call all Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Shalom to the look.